Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Hello, Judge.
Good
Hello,
afternoon,
Judge.
Judge Nancy.
Good
Thank you.
afternoon, Judge.
All right, we will go ahead and get started. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm Judge Regina Mincy, and we're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. This is a calendar for cases in which individuals have recently been arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused the cases of the offenses brought against them, and the case has been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before a state court judge, so we are able to address several matters, including bond, possible arraignment, and a possible plea offer if one has been made by the state at this juncture. I'm going to be providing you with a reset date for the SAP calendar, and that date is Hello?
I think it's November the 7th, Your Honor.
Okay, November 7th. All right. I'm going to also remind everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube, so govern yourselves accordingly. I want to also inform the defendants that you have certain constitutional rights. The first being that you have a right to counsel, which all of you should know who your attorneys are at this point. You also have the constitutional right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts and circumstances or the occurrences of your case can and will be held against you. The state is here and they're listening, so listen to your attorneys. All right, who do we have first?
Good afternoon, Judge Mincy. We have a private attorney case, position 4 for Mr. Cousins.
Okay,
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Larry DeLand for Mr. Cousins.
all right. This is 23 CR 006626F. Christopher Cousins is charged with 1 count of battery family violence. Pretrial.
First arrest recommended,
All right. State.
level 1.
Thank you.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that on March 25th, 2023, the officer came in contact with the victim being Nadine Cousins, the victim who stated that she needed a report in regards to a domestic violence situation with her husband. The victim stated that on that date, her husband became angry and aggressive towards her, and after he found out that she had filed for divorce, the victim stated that they then began to argue, and at some point he grabbed a small handheld blowtorch that is usually located in the cabinet next to their refrigerator where the utensils are, and approached her with it. She attempted to block him, but in return, she got burned on the inside of her left wrist and left shoulder. The victim also stated that she was pushed into the kitchen island where her left calf was hit on the lower cabinet handle, which caused a bruise. The victim produced pictures for the officer, but stated that she did not call the police during the incident due to her being scared because of her husband's ties to the community, and she felt that no one would believe her. The victim followed up with her lawyer, who advised her to press charges. Our office has been able to get in contact with the victim. I do believe that she is on today, so if we could sound for her, Ms. Cousins, after the state's recommendation. But the state's recommendation is a $7,500 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim, a stay away from that incident location being 530 East Paces Ferry Road, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia, here in Fulton County, Georgia, and the completion of a family violence intervention program.
All right, Mr. Is it DeLon or
DeLand, Judge, yes. ma'am.
DeLand? Okay,
Yes.
sorry about that, Mr. DeLand.
Judge, I would ask that you give bond in this case. My client is 60 years of age. He has no prior record. His soon-to-be ex-wife is approximately 31 years of age. Mr. Cousins is a healthcare executive. He has been for many years, recently the COO of Well Street Urgent Care. A little bit unusual about this case in that the report was made on March 25th of 2023. This couple has been in a divorce since then, and the lawyers have gone back and forth. There have been multiple proceedings and hearings. My client's divorce attorneys filed a motion for contempt October 23rd, and later that day he was arrested on this, which is got to be more than just a coincidence. I don't know why Miss Cousins' attorneys never indicated at all through the last 7 months that there was an allegation or a charge. It wasn't pled in any of the pleadings in the divorce action. That is awful strange. And there's also, as part of the contempt, there's a lot of allegations and information and text and emails that indicate that what was indicated in the police report, that my client was angry because she filed for divorce, was actually the opposite. There's court documents saying that she was begging him not to file for divorce himself. And so I don't know what happened. I know that this is a mess. I'm asking the court to, I think with 60 years of age and no prior record, there's already a Superior Court order in place regarding the divorce. I'd ask the court to consider letting Mr. Cousins be released through pretrial services. With the recommendation of the state, were you asking for the one-day class or a 24-week family violence intervention program?
The Family Violence Intervention Program. And if I can make a correction to the stay away, Your Honor, she actually is requesting a stay away from her, I guess, her recent address, which is 7742 Spalding Drive, apartment 553 in Peachtree Corner, Georgia. And then also from, and that zip code is 30092. And then also from her job, which is 11080 Old Roswell Road, Suite 200, Alpharetta, Georgia, 30009.
All right.
And Judge, based on that representation, I would really ask the court not to impose a 6-month family violence intervention program at this stage of the proceeding. I understand the court has the authority to, as any condition of bond, to require anything of a defendant. But a 6-month family violence intervention program is the equivalent of a sentence. And there is a lot more in this case. He is obviously innocent until proven guilty. And there are plenty of conditions to put on this bond to ensure everybody's safety. In fact, it's been 7 months and there's been nothing, and the lawyers are involved. So we know nothing else is going on. I certainly would have no objection to the typical one-day class or the short class that the court sometimes imposes. But a 6-month program at this point, I'd ask to be left for the judge presiding over the final matter in this case, should he be convicted.
And I just point out that not in opposition to what he just said, but that the facts are eerily similar to an aggravated assault.
Okay. Let me hear from the victim if she wishes to speak. I saw the name Nadine Cousins. Do you wish
Yes,
to address the court?
Well, unfortunately, my attorney is not on this call, and I did call the attorney's office to be present today, but unfortunately, just due to scheduling and short notice, they are not available. I would prefer to have my attorney on call.
Okay, this is a criminal matter. This is not a civil matter. So my question to you is, do you wish to address the court with or without your attorney? I'm not going to wait for your attorney, but do you wish to address the court? Yes or no?
Yes.
And if you do, you need to turn on your camera. I'll have to see you, and then I will swear you in.
One moment, please.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I have 2 questions for you. Do you want to have any contact with Mr. Cousins?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Are you in fear of Mr. Cousins?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Those are the 2 things that I need to know for this matter at this point. This is just a bond hearing. This is not your trial. This is not the end of the case at all. It's just the very beginning. Any cross-examination by the state?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Any cross-examination by Mr. DeLine?
Just one question, Judge. Ms. Cousins, both the police and your attorney advised that you get a temporary protective order against Mr. Cousins back in March because you said you were afraid of him and you never did that, correct?
I'm sorry, you were breaking up. What, can you repeat that, please?
You never obtained a temporary protective order in this case, correct?
At this time, no. The reason why, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right.
If I could ask, what was the reason why?
The reason why is because there was already a warrant granted. So when I filed the police report, the investigator on the case had the case presented in front of a judge and a warrant for his arrest was already issued, and we were going to handle it once he was arrested.
Thank you, Ms. Cousins.
Well, if I could follow up on that then, Judge, the police report clearly states that the officer and your attorney advised you to go to get a protective order. So why did you not listen to the police officer and your lawyer in this matter?
Because after that police report was already filed, it was assigned to an investigator, and the investigator advised me exactly what I just told you earlier, that once he was arrested, once the warrant has gone through, the judge has granted it, and the once he was arrested, then we would handle it from there. It would save me attorney fees. I don't have a lot of money for attorney fees for them to file all of that.
Okay.
Judge, that's all the questions. I know the state can confirm that the police report clearly states the opposite.
Okay. All right. I am going to go ahead and give my ruling. I'm going to order a $7,500 signature bond through pretrial services. With that signature bond through pretrial services, going to order the one-day anger awareness course. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim, Nadine Cousins. And with that, no further contact to stay away from her present residence as well as her job. The boxes will be checked on the bond order that states that he's not to come within 200 yards of her. He's not to have any contact with her by any means, phone, mail, email, writing, third parties, no other persons to reach out to her on his behalf. I'm going to also order no drugs, no alcohol, or weapons or guns while on bond. And I think that is going to be all that I'll order at this time. Anything else from the state or his attorney?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All
No,
right,
Your Honor. Thank you. And thank you for
All right.
accommodating me to take this case first.
no worries. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Kelly. Next, Judge, I have position number 10, Ms. Kelly. She was the only one that was not able to be interviewed by a conflict attorney. They were not able to find one. Like to go ahead and do her case next.
Well, does she have representation?
No, she was the only one that was not able to be interviewed by a conflict attorney. They were not able to find one.
Well, is she representing herself?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you understand the consequences of representing yourself?
Yes.
Okay, you need to know the laws and the rules, and I want you to be very careful. Sometimes I'm apprehensive about folk representing themselves. PD Kim,
Yes, Your Honor.
you all were not able to get a hold, because I had Miss McLeod earlier, you all were not able to get a hold to a conflict defender or anything?
No, Judge, all of the other cases, all of the other conflicts, is Ms. McLeod, and she requested to do her cases last, but she's the only one that cannot be represented by Ms. Cloud.
Gotcha. Okay, we will proceed. This is 23 CR 006619C. Cassandra Kelly, charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting. Pre-trial.
So first arrest, she was recommended level 1.
All right. State.
Yes, Your Honor. The state is recommending a UJR through the jail with a stay away from the Walmart located at 345 Lanier Street. Simply, the defendant was arrested for shoplifting at Walmart. Again, that incident location is 345 Lanier Street, and we are asking for a UJR through the jail, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Kelly, I'm assuming you don't have anything else to add or to state, do you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, all right. I will grant that UJR for $3,000 per judge through the jail. I'm going to order a stay away from Walmart at 345, and I didn't write the street down. Sorry about that.
Lanier, Lanier.
Okay, stay away from there. I'm going to order no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons or guns while on bond. And I think that's it. Anything else from the state?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I actually read the wrong instant location onto the record. It's actually, yeah, I'm so sorry. It's 970 Mansell Road. And
Oh,
it's spelled
okay.
Mansell Road. My apologies.
That's okay. All right, please correct that for me, Ms. Champion. All right, $3,000 UJR jail. And also, Ms. Kelly, please make sure that the clerk has your updated address so that you will get notices of future court dates.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. That'll
Thank you.
conclude this matter.
Position 6, Dobbs.
Okay. This is 23 CR 0062227H. Adia Dobbs, charged with 1 count of battery family violence, pretrial.
First arrest, recommended level 1.
Okay, state.
You got a brief facts of the case is that on October 23rd, 2023, the officer was flagged down at an incident location, that incident location being 3464 Roxborough, Roxboro Road, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia, by an unknown elderly couple who stated that a couple was fighting behind the incident location. The officer found the defendant and the victim physically entangled. The defendant stated that she was the reason the fight started. The defendant stated that she went through the victim's phone and an argument started. The defendant stated that she punched the victim. She pushed the victim, that she pushed the victim and that they began to push each other. The defendant stated that she threw the victim's phone and began to reach for her bag and they began to wrestle. The victim suffered several whelps to his neck and chest with a ripped shirt, and the defendant suffered a scratch to her left cheek. The defendant stated that she and the victim lived together for over a year and are in a relationship. Your Honor, the victim in this case, his name is Daron, Darron Pegram, Pergram. If we could sound for him, as our office has not been able to get in contact with him after the recommendation from the state in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. But the recommendation is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, and the completion of a family violence intervention program.
All right. And this is this PD Adams?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
All right.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon.
So with regards to Ms. Dobbs is currently a student at Morehouse School of Medicine. She has about 1.5 years to go. She graduates in 2025. She is in the United States Army Reserves, and she has been in the Army Reserves for 9 years. She's a 27-year-old woman. She has family that lives here. She participates in large amounts of volunteer services, ranging from feeding the homeless, doing things with souls for little souls, collecting school books and supplies. She volunteers with the Hill Clinic and with Georgia Harm Reduction Center. She does have a place to go, although she would prefer to go home. Defense does understand that, and so does she. I have made her aware of that because of the possibility of no contact, because I have reached out to Mr. Peglam as well, and was unsuccessful in reaching him of the possibility that the stay away may be put in place. We consent to with the recommendation, with the exception to the 6 months battery family violence intervention program classes, Your Honor, as this is Ms. Dobbs' very first offense in life. She's been serving and still actively serves our country, and she's a student. And so, Your Honor, we would ask that a one-day anger awareness and also for a signature bond.
All right. Is the victim on the call, Mr. Duran Peregrine or Peregrine? All right. I will order a $3,500 signature bond through pretrial. I'm going to order the stay away, because I can't determine at this point from that address, the 3464 Roxborough Road. I'm going to order no drugs, no alcohol, no weapons while on bond. And I'll order the one-day anger awareness course through pretrial, which is free. And no further contact with the victim. And I guess that's it. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Judge, I do notice, Ms. McLeod, we're gonna do her case next, position 16, Warren.
Okay. This is 23 CR 006617A. Candace Warren, charged with 1 count of battery family violence, pretrial.
First arrest, jail was a recommendation.
Okay. Stay.
Your Honor, 1 second, please.
Okay.
In this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 1145 Kirkwood Avenue, where they spoke with the victim, Miss Danielle Arrington. She advised that her and the defendant were engaged in a verbal altercation. When the defendant became violent, the defendant did punch the victim, leaving physical markings and bruising to the victim's arms, neck, and face that were observed by the officer who arrested the defendant. We are asking for a signature bond through pretrial services with the condition of FFIP, a stay away from 1145 Kirkwood Avenue, no contact with the victim, Ms. Danielle Arrington, and no alcohol, drug, or weapons while out on bond.
All right. Ms. McLeod.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
My understanding is that this was a dual arrest. And in speaking with my client, she tells me that she would prefer no further violent contact and that she believes that the class defendant would also prefer the same, Your Honor. She tells me it was a misunderstanding. They have absolutely no history of violence and they were just having an argument. So I would ask for a signature bond through the jail, since that was recommended, Your Honor, and also that the bond be conditioned on no further violent contact with the cross defendant. Nothing further, Your Honor.
And who is the cross defendant?
Danielle Arrington, and I'm not showing that she has an open case in Odyssey, so I don't believe that Ms. Arrington has appeared on a first appearance calendar, which means we have not had contact. And because Ms. Arrington is not here to represent or to state that she wants no violent contact, we are asking for no further violent contact. We are asking for no contact. And also to clarify, my recommendation was for a signature bond through pretrial services, not the jail.
I understand, but I believe pretrial said that the recommendation was a signature.
Oh, I thought you meant my recommendation.
No,
you didn't say.
I was referring to what pretrial said.
Understood.
All right, and that case is not on the calendar today, are we
Right,
not
Miss
sure that
Arrington has
there's?
not been arrested as of right now, which is my understanding.
Okay. All right. I will order a, and I forgot, Ms. McLeod, how old is Ms. Warren?
He's 39 years old, Your Honor.
39?
Yes, Your Honor.
She's
And
working?
been arrested and she is employed. Yes. She works in human resources, she tells me.
All right.
Miss Warren, if is this about your bond or what do you want to say?
Oh, I just wanted to correct something that Ms. Arrington, she was arrested as well. I called the police when both were arrested.
Let me just put it like this. She's not, unless I misspelled the name, she's not showing an open case.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought she was. So my apologies.
Yeah, we don't have that before us today. Ms. Warren, I'm going to order a $3,500 signature bond. And I will order that signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. I'm going to order a stay away unless we find out otherwise. Who resides at 1145 Kirkwood Avenue?
They both live there together, Your Honor.
Okay. And so, Ms. Warren, you have to find somewhere else to go live while you're on bond. And I'm going to order no further contact at this time so that there can be the cooling down and the stay away to make sure that things will go positive for the future. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. That'll conclude that case.
Position 14, Walker.
Okay. Is this still you, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
Okay. 23 CR 006615Y. Maya Walker, charged at 1 count of criminal trespass and damage to property. Pretrial.
First arrest recommended level 1.
Okay. State.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 345 Lanier Street where they spoke to the victim, Darren Harris. The victim advised that they were engaged in a verbal altercation with the defendant. At that time, the defendant became aggressive and physical. She took a pan and threw it into the wall. She also took a brick and broke a mirror that was located in their living room. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, a stay away from the incident location, 345 Lanier Street, no contact with Darren Harris, and also the condition of a family violence intervention program.
Okay. Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 19 years old. She and the alleged victim share a 2-year-old son. She denies the allegations as stated by the state, Your Honor, and she tells me that the complaining witness broke her phone, and that was the reason why they had an altercation. We don't have a problem with the signature bond through pretrial.
Okay.
And stay away, and she wants no further contact with him.
All right. And I'm assuming Mr. Darian Harris is not on the call. I didn't sound for him. Don't see anyone matching that name. All right. I will order a $3,500 signature bond through pretrial. I'm going to order the 1-day anger awareness course through pretrial. Going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And a stay away from the incident location, 345 Lanier Street, and no further contact with the victim, Darian Harris.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Position 11, Miller.
Okay. This is 23 CR 006629B, Daquan Miller, charged at 1 count of theft by receiving stolen property, 2 counts of theft by receiving stolen property, pretrial.
Third arrest. Last arrest was in February. Possession of tools for the commission of a crime, theft by receiving. That's open in DeKalb County. 2022 unlawful carrying of a weapon dismissed.
Okay. State.
The facts of the case is that on August 8, 2023, a Georgia Tech patrol officer observed a silver in color Acura bearing a Georgia license plate, driving with its headlights off, pull into an alleyway off of 10th Street Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, and Fulton County, Georgia, behind a tennis complex. The patrol officer reported that when he pulled behind the vehicle, the driver was out of the vehicle, standing on the driver's side. The officer reported that when he activated his emergency lights, the driver got back into the vehicle and closed the door. The patrol officer requested that the Georgia Tech Communications Center dispatch run a detail tag via the GCIC. The plate returned as being registered to VIP Automobile Buying Service LLC. The registration status of the license plate returned as being expired with an issue date in 2020. The officer made contact with the driver and requested ID. The driver provided a Georgia's driver's license upon request of the officer. The license plate identified the driver as Daquan Marquise Miller. Miller stated that he had stopped at the location to retrieve something from the trunk. The item that Miller stated that he was looking for was the proper tag for the vehicle. Miller retrieved the vehicle's assigned tag from the passenger's compartment. The plates returned via GCIC to a 2016 Acura registered to a Josma Hill Smothers, Josma spelled Josma, out of Atlanta, Georgia. The plate is not reported stolen and returned with active registration and active insurance. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is a signature bond and a no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, if at this time we could, I believe the victim in this case would be Josma, if we could sound for the victim, Miss Josma. One moment. Josma Smothers, Smother. That'd be greatly appreciated in accordance with Marcy's law.
All right. Josma Smothers. Josma Smothers. All right, go ahead, Ms. McLeod.
Your Honor, we have no objection with the recommendations of the state, Your Honor, but I will say that I'm not sure exactly how Ms. Smothers became a victim, because I heard nothing alleged by the prosecution which would make her a victim. I believe what I heard was that the plates came back registered to her, and that they were proper plates, they were working, there was insurance. So the state has not made any allegations as to why he would not have those properly in his possession. I didn't hear any facts which allege that, but we are okay with the signature bond.
All right. And was there a stay away as well, Mr. Pierre Thomas?
I don't believe that stay away was requested, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, I will order a $3,000 signature bond.
And just for the
Through-
record, Your Honor, I'm sorry, but there was a second vehicle, a 2019 Dodge Charger that was registered to a Loukethis, Louketis, out of Albany, Georgia, and that GCIC hit came back as stolen by Chamblee Police Department. If we could sound for that victim, looks like the name is Lakeithus, that'd be greatly appreciated as well. But that's the indicia for the theft by receiving stolen property, Your Honor.
That's the other count. Lakeithus, and what was the last name?
I don't believe
You
I
don't
don't,
have a last name?
yeah. Let me double check the warrant, Your Honor. Looks like Michael is the first name. My apologies. Michael, traditional spelling, Lakeithus, Louketis.
Okay. All right, I will order the signature bond. I'm going to make that 3,000 on each of the charges for a total of 6,000. 6,000 signature bond through the jail. And I'm going to order no further contact with the victims of Joseph Smothers and Michael Lakeithus. No further contact with them.
You have a right to remain silent. Please exercise it, okay? Don't speak.
And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. All right, there's nothing else. I think that will be it for this case.
Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. See you next time.
Thank you.
All right.
Position 9, Justice.
Yes, Your Honor. Before you get started, I wanted to wait until I had another client. With regards to Ms. Dobbs, she and the complaining witness live together. That's also in the report. I wanted to know if she could please have a one-time police escort so she can get some of her belongings from the home.
Okay, I will add that Ms. Champion, a one-time law enforcement escort to the property to retrieve personal belongings.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
And Your Honor, I believe position 9, Justice may need a breakout room, given the nature of the case, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't see a request for it, but I can.
You want the history?
Yes, let me have that first.
7 total. Last arrest was in the year 2000. Recommended level 1.
She is recommended.
Yes.
Okay. All right, this is 23 CR 006630C, Lisa Justice, charged with violating family violence order. Who all needs to go into the breakout? Whose case is this for the state, Mr. Pierre Thomas?
It's my case, but if we could also have Supervisor Walker in.
All right, Ian Walker.
And SG Denise as well, Your Honor.
Who else is that?
Miss Denise. It says SG Denise. I believe she has her hand raised. Well, virtually, that is.
Oh, I see. I was looking down instead of up. Okay, SG Denise and PD Adams.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you want PD Kim to come with you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, Judge.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't hear nothing.
All right, Ms. Justice, you have a $2,000 surety bond. You're to stay away from the incident location, have no further contact with Mr. Albertson. And we've ordered an evaluation, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And you can have once you make bond, you can have a one-time police escort to return to that location to get any personal items, but it must be with a police escort. You cannot go back there alone, or else you will end up in the Fulton County Jail.
Well, I can't have a signature bond.
I'm sorry?
This is a signature bond.
No, I'm not willing to give you a signature bond at this time. It's going to be a $2,000 surety bond.
Well, I don't understand what that is. We'll
You
explain.
can just go through a bonding company. They'll explain it to you.
And Your Honor, our office has been able to get in contact with Mr. Albertson, but and I don't believe that he's here today, but just in accordance with Marcy's law, if we can just address him, that'd be greatly appreciated.
All right, Mr. Albertson, Christopher Albertson. I think he's on. All right, that'll conclude this case.
Everything in that house is mine.
All right, well, you can just retrieve whatever you need to retrieve, personal items, with the police escort.
And Ms. Justice, we already spoke about this and what you need to do, but don't speak anymore, okay? Because we don't want anybody to use anything against you, all right? Okay.
Position 13, Rogers.
Hello, Your Honor.
Okay, this is 23 CR 006621Y. Mr. Rogers charged with 1 count of battery family violence, 2nd count of cruelty to the children in the 3rd degree, pretrial.
First arrest, jail was the recommendation.
All right.
Yes,
State.
Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 5608 Tree Lodge Parkway, where they spoke to the victim, Ms. Amber Johnson. The defendant and the victim resided together at that location. They were engaged in a verbal altercation. It is my understanding that the defendant became violent with the victim in front of her child. He did slam a door into her, leaving bruising on her bicep, which was observed by the law enforcement officer. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services. Stay away from the incident location, 5608 Tree Lodge Parkway. No contact with the victim, Ms. Amber Johnson, and a family violence intervention program. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right. Whose case? PD?
Your Honor, I was kicked out from the internet. I was wondering
Oh.
what.
Okay.
Is it Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Yes, that's my client, Your Honor.
I think I see you on 2 devices. Let's see. PD Kim. Oh, no, just 1.
I was not able to listen to pretrial or solicitor. I apologize, but
Oh, well, pretrial said first arrest, jail was their recommendation. State,
yes.
do you mind presenting again? I didn't
Yeah.
realize PD Kim wasn't with us.
No worries, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 5608 Tree Lodge Parkway, where they spoke with the victim, Ms. Amber Johnson. She advised that her and the defendant resided together during this time. They were engaged in a verbal altercation where he became physical and violent with her. He slammed a door shut on her bicep, leaving a visible bruise that was observed by the law enforcement officer. This did occur in front of her 9-year-old daughter. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services. No further contact with Ms. Amber Johnson. A stay away from the incident location. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And we are also asking that the defendant is ordered to take a family violence intervention program. And of course, we would sound for the victim, Ms. Amber Johnson.
All right, Amber Johnson. Amber Johnson. Don't think she's on. All right, go ahead, PD Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. We do not have any objection to a signature on bond. However, we do not want to have a domestic violence intervention class. That is, I think that's too premature at this point. He is presumed to be innocent. We would like to request for just signature on bond through pretrial service. Though we have no objection to no further contact and stay away. We just need one-time law enforcement officer escorted visit to make sure that he can get his personal belongings. Your Honor, they don't have a children together, so we don't have to ask for third party either. I actually put in a chat that I wanted to have, it's not my client, but complaining witness may have some MH issue, but we would like to just keep it quiet about that. As of now, that's it, Your Honor.
All right. And how old is Mr. Rogers?
Mr. Rogers is 28 years old, Your Honor. And he is currently going to Gwinnett schools as a therapist. He also works at clinic. He has an associate degree, Your Honor.
All right. I will order a $4,000 signature bond through the jail, 3,000 on the battery, 1,000 on the cruelty. Going to order no further contact with the victim, Amber Johnson, and the 9-year-old child, no further contact with them. A stay away from 5608 Tree Lodge Parkway. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Anything else?
My
Nothing.
client needs one-time law enforcement officer escorted visit.
I'm sorry, you said that. And a one-time law enforcement escort to return to the property to retrieve any of his personal items. So Mr. Rogers, you are not to return to that property till you have scheduled and have a law enforcement escort to return with you. All right, anything else?
Nothing.
You got a signature
Like-
line.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay
Please,
the
you have to say anything, Mr. Rogers, even the best you can get.
Judge, is it through the jail? Correct?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Can I say that I'm the victim?
Position 12, Mobley.
'23 CR 006620J. Jacque Mobley, charged at one count of driving defective or no headlights, and a second count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Pre-trial.
Fifth arrest, last arrest was in May, suspended license and obstruction, Clayton County. That appears to be open. Got a theft by receiving in Fulton. 2019 disorderly conduct NOLO, 2018 driving without a valid license conviction. That's it.
State.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the defendant was pulled over for driving with defective headlights. Upon making or at least attempting to make contact with the defendant fled from the traffic stop. He's charged with one count of defective lights and also one count of obstruction. The state is asking for a signature bond through the jail. No driving while out on bond without a valid license.
All right. PD Adams.
Your Honor, Mr. Mobley is a 26-year-old man. He has 4 children, a 4-year-old, a set of 5-year-old twins, and a 7-year-old. The 7-year-old is an autistic child. He was born and raised right here in Georgia. He has family here. He does volunteer work at the food bank up on Camp Creek. He is gainfully employed. However, he does have little means, especially since he takes care of his children. He's a very active parent. And so with regards to that, Your Honor, there is no objection with regards to a signature bond through the jail.
All right. I'm going to order a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. That'll be 2,000 on the obstruction, 1,000 on the headlights. There will be no driving unless he has a valid driver's license. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that should be it.
Judge, you said 3,000, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Position 3. What is it? Bob Zimbo.
This is 23 CR 006625C. Bob Simple. Charge one count of battery family violence, second count of simple battery family violence, third count of cruelty to children. Pre-trial.
What is this, Judge?
Position 3, Bob Simple. I don't know if
Okay.
that's correct spelling or,
First arrest, jail was a recommendation.
okay. State.
Your Honor, brief facts of the case is that on October 19, 2023, the officer responded to the incident location. That incident location being 7933 Heathmore Drive, South Fulton, in reference to a fight call. The victim advised that the victim advised that she was beaten by her live-in boyfriend, who is also the father of her children, who's the defendant here today. The victim advised that she and the defendant were in a verbal dispute. She stated that the verbal dispute became physical when the defendant began to strike her in the face with a closed hand several times. The victim stated that the defendant was intoxicated and continued to strike her as she begged him to stop. The victim had visible lacerations to her face. Miss Pamela Springle, Pamela, P-A-M-E-L-A, Springle, the second victim and the first victim's mother, witnessed the defendant striking the first victim and tried to intervene. However, the defendant pushed her while she was holding his 5-month-old child, initials being OB. The child bumped his head on the wall. The child was checked out by Grady and South Fulton Fire. And the child appeared to have suffered no injuries and was not transported. A second child, initials LB, birthday 2019, was present in the home at the time of the incident. Your Honor, our office has been able to get in contact with, looks like Destiny Townsell, the first victim. I believe she is on the Zoom. And so we'll give her an opportunity to speak, Your Honor, but the recommendation from the office is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, no contact with both victims. The first victim being Destiny Townsell, Destiny spelled D-E-S-T-I-N-E-E, and Pamela Springle, and a stay away from the incident location and the completion of a family violence intervention program. If at this time we can sound for both victims, Your Honor, in accordance with Marcy's law.
All right, the victim, Pamela Springle. Pamela Springle.
Springle is not here. That's my mom. This is Destiny.
And who are you?
I'm the girlfriend.
She's the first victim, Your Honor. There's 2 separate victims on the case.
You're the girlfriend of, I'm sorry, I have victim. So Pamela Springle is her mother and she's the.
So I think they have me as victim 1.
Yes, so she's the victim in the battery family violence. Ms. Springle, who is her mother, is the victim in the simple battery family violence.
Gotcha, okay. And your name is Destiny?
Yes, Townsell.
Townsell, okay. I see it on the screen. How old are you, Destiny?
30.
Okay. All right. And would you like to address the court?
Yes.
All right. I need to swear you in first. Raise your right hand. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right. Put your hand down. Are you in fear of Mr. Bob Simple?
No.
All right. Do you want to have any further contact with him?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a child with him as well?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So is that OB or LB?
We have 2 children together, OB and LB.
Okay. So those are both your children. Okay. All right. That is fine. Any cross-examination by the state?
No cross-examination, Your Honor.
Anything by, is it PD Abden?
Yes, Your Honor. No cross for the defense. Thank you.
Okay.
And if, Your Honor, if at this time we could also add an alcohol and drug evaluation and treatment as necessary, given the facts of the case. And I do believe that is a request of the victim as well.
Okay. All right. PD Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 26 years old. He's been living in Georgia consistently for the past 5 years. He did move here from New York to raise his children in a safer environment. He, as you've heard, has a 5-month-old baby and a 4-year-old child with the complaining witness.
one of the complaining witnesses who you've heard from. He is gainfully employed, Your Honor. He works at Amazon at the warehouse. He's been working there for the past 11 months. He did already miss 2 days of work, and the longer he remains in jail, the more likely it is that he will lose his job. As you've heard from pretrial, he does not have any criminal history. This is his first arrest. He was recommended for a signature bond, so I am requesting that that signature bond be through the jail. And if Your Honor is not inclined, through pretrial. My client does recognize that there are some anger issues. However, and we would not object to a one-day anger awareness class, Your Honor, but a family intervention violence intervention program at this time is too restrictive, and I would ask that Your Honor wait until later in this case to order that. My client would like to have no further violent contact with the complaining witness, so he can continue raising his children with her, and that they can sort this out on between themselves. And that is all. Oh, and if Your Honor is not inclined to do no further violent contact, then and a stay away would need to be in order, then he would need a one-time law enforcement escort as well as a third-party transport for the minor children.
Okay. I'm going to order a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. And that 5,000 should be divided at 2,000 on each of the batteries, 1,000 on the cruelty. I'm going to order a stay away from the 7933 Heathmore Drive. I'm going to order no further contact with the victims in this case, both victims. If there is visitation, it should be facilitated by a third party. One-time law enforcement escort to return back to the property to retrieve his personal belongings. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I think that's it. Anything else?
Am I able to ask a question, or do I need to speak with the woman who's representing him offline?
It depends. Is it about the bond conditions?
No, it's about all the other conditions. Again, like I said, we do live together and we do have 2 children, but you're saying that he's not able to come back into the home?
Not right now, not while he's on bond. Because this, happened last week. I want to make sure there's been ample cooling down. It's happened in front of children, which concerns me. And so until things can be sorted out, he is to go live somewhere else.
Until his next court appearance, which we don't have yet.
Right.
And we
At
can
least.
talk about that after court if you'd like. You can give me a call and I'll explain everything to you.
Okay.
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 All right. Thank you.
Position 1, Banks.
And Your Honor, this one will require a breakout room due to MH, and his family is also on the line and would like to be heard in the breakout room.
Okay, I see for number 1. And who are the family members? I see a Frank Banks family.
Yes, I believe his mother Wanda is there as well, and I spoke to a bunch of people, so they're all there.
Let me hear from, let me call this case 23 CR 006628G, Frank Banks, charged with 1 count of lauder and prowling. Pre-trial.
14 total. 2021 failure to appear. 2018 probation. 2016 failure to appear. 2016 theft by receiving conviction. 2013 obstruction conviction. That's it.
Okay. So now we can go into the breakout. the Banks family, and it's PD Abden's case. PD Kim, ASG Walker, ASG Pierre Thomas.
And Your Honor, it looks like one of our social workers is also on the line, if she can also be added to the breakout.
All right.
And again, we'll ask for SG Denise to be added as well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. All right, in the case with Frank Banks, I'm going to order a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. He is not to be released on his own. He is to only be released to his mother, Wanda Dennis, and or her brother-in-law, Kevin Thomas. There will be a stay away from the incident location. No further contact with Julie Loxton. He is reset to the competency calendar for November the 2nd. He's to get an MHET. No guns, unprescribed medication, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And did I leave out anything?
No, Your Honor, that's all. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, good luck to you all.
And if we can just sound for the victim, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry, and make sure
Thank
the victim, Julie Loxton, is Miss Julie Loxton on the Zoom? No? All right,
Thank you.
all right.
All right,
take
thank
care.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Position 2, Bland.
'23 CR 006618F, Devontae Bland, charged at 1 count of giving false information to law enforcement pretrial.
I'm gonna defer to the state on this one. I think
Okay,
I didn't blank or blank.
One second, Your Honor. Let's see.
If you got 25 total, then I got the history. I'm just not sure if this blank or blank.
Yes, it's 25 total.
All right, I'll do it. 2020 probation. On probation out of car, possession of a Schedule 1, sale of marijuana. 2019, he got a couple of FTAs and a parole violation. 2018 parole violation. 2018 obstruction conviction. 2016 possession of a firearm by convicted felon. Possession of a Schedule 1 conviction. 2014 robbery conviction. And you got a burglary warrant out of Cobb County.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the La Quinta Inn located at 575 Old Holcomb Bridge Road. They made contact with the staff of the hotel. They were called out due to a dispute. Law enforcement officers spoke to the defendant, who provided a false name of Malcolm Hamilton. Upon discovering his real name, which is Devontae Bland, he was placed into custody for giving false information. It was also determined that he had a warrant out of a foreign county. The state is asking for a signature bond through the jail for him to be released to that hold. It looks like that hold is out of Cobb County. And we are also asking for a stay away from the incident location, which is the La Quinta Inn, located at 575 Old Holcomb Bridge Road.
all right. PD Atkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. No objection to the signature bond. As you've heard, he does have a hold and would be released to that hold. We don't object to that. My client does deny the allegations, Your Honor, and so I did want to place that on the record. And he would need a one-time law enforcement escort if possible, because he was staying at this hotel and he never got his belongings, and I'm not sure if they're still there or not, but I would request a one-time law enforcement escort for him to get them if they are there.
I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with him going back there for that. My inclination is it probably not, but does the state have any objection to that or any thoughts?
I don't have an objection, but he has a felony holder out of Cobb. So if and when he's released, I can almost
Probably
say,
not going to be anything there.
I mean, it's not, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to order the one-time escort to go back to that location because that may cause more problems than not. But I will order a $2,000 signature bond through the jail to be released to his Cobb County hold. I'm going to order stay away from the La Quinta Inn, 575 Holcomb Bridge Road. That stay away. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I think that's it. Anything else?
No, that's all, Your Honor. Well, in terms of the one-time law enforcement escort, the incident, the complaining witness is somebody who was staying at the hotel. It sounds like, would it cause any issues for him to return if that person is not there? I'm not really sure if she was staying there long-term. He doesn't know her.
I don't know about long-term at the La Quinta Inn. You
Right.
named me some others. No, I'm not gonna do that either. It's just, he needs to stay away, not go back under any circumstances.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, that's it for that one.
Position 5D.
5. (23 CR 006624F). Is it Simeon Dean? Charge it 1 count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, 2nd count simple battery, 3rd count possession and use of drug-related objects. Pretrial.
3rd arrest, 2011 carrying a handgun without a license. 2009 possession of marijuana dismissed. Hold on. Guess this will be jail. That's all.
Okay. State.
The other facts of the case is that on October 23rd, 2023, the officer was dispatched and responded to N-City Suites located at 845 North Central Ave in Hateville, Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia, in reference to a damage to property. The officer met with the complainant, who was actually the defendant, who stated that the victim had threatened to damage his vehicle, the victim being Miss Todanitra, Todanitra, Newton traditional spelling, threatened to damage his vehicle. The defendant stated that once he arrived at that location, the victim confronted him about another female riding in his vehicle. The defendant stated that the victim was standing near the front entrance of the location with a brick in her hand with the intentions of damaging his vehicle. A witness stated that she observed the defendant spit in the victim's face. When initially asked, the defendant stated that he did not spit on the victim. Upon further questioning, the defendant stated that he spit in the victim's direction, or spit at the victim, to keep her away from him because she had a brick in her hand. The victim stated that the defendant flashed a handgun at her and spit on her. Officers then asked the defendant if he had a firearm on him or in his vehicle, to which he responded no. Officers received consent to search the vehicle for a firearm, and the defendant advised that he had a handgun magazine in the vehicle. Upon searching the vehicles, officers discovered a black handgun magazine containing 9mm automatic ammunition. The defendant stated that the magazine did not belong to him. The officers watched a security camera footage and observed the altercation between the defendant and the victim. The officer observed the defendant walk on Northside Drive to the front park. The officer observed the victim walk on Northside Drive to the front parking and not to walk towards the defendant or his vehicle. The officers, however, observed the defendant walk towards the victim, and it appeared as though the defendant reached into his right waistband as he walked towards the victim. Officers also observed the defendant spit in the victim's face. Officers received consent to search the defendant's room for the purposes of finding said handgun, and upon searching the room, officers discovered an extended Glock magazine in the nightstand of the room and a crack pipe in a blue Paw Patrol backpack. Your Honor, our office has not been able to get in contact with Ms. Newton, so if we can sound for her after the recommendation from the state, that'd be greatly appreciated in accordance with Marcy's law. But the recommendation, given the presence of the gun and the allegation, the recommendation from the state is a $10,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a no contact with that victim, and a stay away from that in-city suites location.
Right. PB admin.
Thank you, Your Honor. I got my two cases confused. This is the guy who actually needs the one-time law enforcement escort. If your honor is inclined, his stuff is still at the hotel. My client is 37 years old. He graduated from high school and he went to Everest and Brown Mackie College. He has certificates in electrical and medical assistant. He's 2 certificates. And he moved to Georgia in January from Indiana to live with his brother. So he does have strong ties to the community, your honor. He's also gainfully employed. He works at Spelman College as a groundskeeper. He's also a father to 4 young children. 3 of them are 9 years old. 1 of them is 4 years old. And he is also responsible for their child support, which he is paying. And so the longer he does remain in jail, your honor, the more likely it is he will lose his job and be unable to pay that child support. As you've heard from pretrial, he's not been arrested since 2011, and he was recommended for unsecured judicial release. And so I am requesting a signature bond, your honor. My client firmly denies these allegations. He tells me that this was a misunderstanding and that he did not have a firearm. As you've heard from the allegations, there was no firearm ever found, and he does not know this person. So he would not object to a no further contact or a stay away from the in-city suites, so long as, if your honor is inclined to allow him to go get his belongings still in the room.
And your honor, if we can sound for the victim.
Tadanitra Newton. Ms. Newton.
Thank you.
All right. What did the state have a recommended breakdown on the $10,000 surety bond?
No, your honor, we leave it completely to the discretion of, a breakdown, I'm sorry, for the surety bond. One moment. Your honor, if we could do 7,000 on the simple battery and a 1,500 on the remainder, that being the willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer and the possession of drug-related objects on each count, for a total of 10,000.
Okay.
And your honor,
going
I can't afford that bond. I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off. He can't afford that bond. And so setting a bond for him that high would be like no bond at all.
Yes, I'm going to order a $7,000 signature bond. And I'll do that signature bond through the jail. So that will be 5,000 on the battery and 1,000 on each of the other 2. For a total of $7,000 SOB jail. I'm going to order that he stay away from the in-city suites. No further contact with the victim. No unprescribed drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns. None of that while on bond. And I understand they found a magazine on. I'm going to say if Mr. Dean owns a gun or has a gun in his possession, that he turn it over immediately to the sheriff's department while he's on bond. Again, I'm a little apprehensive about ordering him to return to that location, even with law enforcement, to get his personal belongings. Can this be a yes or no question to Mr. Dean? Does he have any belongings in that room at in-city suites?
He does, your honor. I spoke with him about that.
He does.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about a lot of clothes and other items, or just clothing?
Clothes, shoes, video games, some couple items.
Okay. And I think where the allegations is he's staying in that room with this person, or this person was a stranger. She was not staying in the room with him.
No, your honor, she's a stranger.
Okay. All right. I will order the one-time law enforcement escort to return to the room. Please go back with law enforcement only to get his personal belongings out of that room that he was staying in. So I will order that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else?
Nothing else from defense.
My car is also still sitting over there in the parking lot.
Oh, okay, and you can retrieve your vehicle. Okay,
And
All
Mr. Dean,
right.
just with law enforcement, you can't go back there
Yes.
without a law enforcement escort, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
okay. All right. And that will conclude this case.
Yeah.
Judge, I have a quick announcement
Yes.
for positions 7 and 8. Dubose is going to be released through the pad. Position,
Okay.
also position 15, they waived their appearance.
Okay.
So you got a bond amount for 7 and 8? Or is
It's
it
usually
UJR?
UJR.
Okay.
Usually, well, I mean, I can put a dollar amount if you just want, but certainly
No.
UJ.
I was just asking. It could be UJR. That's fine.
Well, if they, my problem is again, if they do not show up at pad or leave pad, and then you have to be revoked. I mean, there could be an amount to help with any revocation issues, but they can set it at that time. State, do you all have any recommendation? Do you want me to set an amount or not?
Yes, we don't have a
And I think-
recommendation as relates to the amount, Your Honor.
And I see Ms. Patterson on there. Ms. Patterson.
Yes, ma'am.
tell-
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I
afternoon.
did not receive that name. I have a Shepherd, but not the name that was just indicated.
Oh, you don't have John DuBose, DUBOSE?
That's correct.
No.
We didn't get sent to Pat on Dubois, so I'm not sure where that announcement came from.
Oh, you didn't have that either?
No.
No, Your Honor.
Uh-oh. Got the
I don't know
wrong
if the
person.
jail's making their own announcements now, but it did come from the state.
I left it to the discretion.
Ms. Kim, did you
Okay,
speak to Mr. DuBois? Did you speak to him or?
yes.
I didn't. I was only aware of Shepherd.
Correct.
Yeah,
Shepherd.
I spoke with Mr. DeBose and Pat was not a part of the discussion. I do know that Pat, there was a request for Pat for him, but there was no response. So,
Well, there was a response. It was declined, was the response.
yeah, the response that I received just said that one person was consented to, and then it was just silent. for the other.
Miss Kim got it. So I don't know if the jail's on the line, but we need to find Mr. DuBose.
Mr. DeBose waived his, and just for the record, Mr. DeBose is still at the jail, but he waived appearance. He was
Okay.
not.
So we can just
Oh, well,
proceed,
then
but
we
that's
can go
it.
ahead. Okay,
Can
All
I
right,
please
that's
have
good.
the waiver for Mr. DeBose, please?
Yes, I've sent it. I emailed it.
You emailed it to Miss Champion?
Double check. I believe I did, but let me double check. If not, I will resend it to ensure that she
Okay.
received.
Okay. All right, we'll do this one first. 23 CR 00662J, John DuBose. Charged with one count of willful obstruction. He has a second case, 23 CR 006623J. Charged with one count of criminal trespass, second count of simple battery against a police officer. Retrial?
22 total. Last arrest was on the 15th of this month. Shoplifting. He got an open trespass in state court. 2022 trespass conviction. 2022 shoplifting conviction. 2018 disorderly conduct trespass conviction. And a 2017 burglary conviction. That's
Okay.
it.
All right.
Your Honor, these are charged as two separate cases, but they're essentially the same common transaction or occurrence. But I'll give you the facts and it'll kind of make sense, I guess, towards the end. But on October 23rd, 2023, the officer was dispatched to the location in reference, that location being 1683. I'm sorry, that is correct. 1683 Lakewood Avenue, Southeast Atlanta, Georgia. I believe that is the Amoco gas station. In reference to a criminal trespass, the officer met with the 911 caller, that 911 caller being Mr. I'm just going to spell it out and not butcher it, ABHISHEKWARD, last name. Mr. Ward advised that the defendant was trespassing at the location after being given a criminal trespass warning. Looks like APD case number 231190201 and APD case number 232861635. The officer observed the defendant, noticing that Mr. Ward was talking to him, and the defendant attempted to walk away from the property. The officer eventually caught up with the defendant and requested an ID from the defendant, which the defendant advised that he did not have an ID, but he could provide the officer with his name and date of birth. During the detention, the defendant became irate and began walking away from the officer. As the officer attempted to detain the defendant continued to resist arrest. A long struggle ensued. Separate incident attached to the willful obstruction, separate incident attached to the simple battery on the officer is on that same day while being transported by a different officer. During that transport, the defendant spat on the right side of the officer's face as well as his right arm while they were traveling down Metropolitan Parkway Southwest. Your Honor, the recommendation from the state, I believe on both cases, specifically the one involving just the officer, is a signature bond through the pretrial services, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. And the one involving the criminal trespass and they were broken out different. So the one just involving the willful obstruction is that one. But the one involving the simple battery against the police officer and the criminal trespass is a no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, a no contact with that store employee from the Amoco gas station, and a stay away from that Amoco gas station location.
And so what's the amount you're recommending on position?
They're both signature bonds, Your Honor. And so
Both signature bonds, okay.
yes, Your Honor, through the pretrial services.
And I don't know, was he recommended through pretrial or not?
No.
No, I didn't think so. The open case and yeah.
Yeah, the open case in state court.
Right. Okay. All right. Go ahead, PD Adams.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. DeBose is a 41-year-old man. He has some college education. He's been in Georgia since 1991. He does have friends that live here. He doesn't really have any family. He has been diagnosed with some issues. But he does do some community service whenever he gets a chance. He is indigent, Your Honor. He provided an address. So it's my presumption that he didn't indicate that he's residentially challenged or anything, but he is indigent. He doesn't make very much money, Your Honor. So we do request a signature bond from the court, preferably through the jail, but it's understood if it goes to pretrial services.
All right. I'm going to order on the first case with the willful obstruction, a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Stay away from the Amoco on Lakewood Avenue. And no further contact with the victim. And then on the second case, I will order a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. $3,000 on the battery, $2,000 on the criminal trespass. Stay away from the same location from the Amoco, no further contact with the store employee. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, guns while on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. And 15 is the last one. Yes.
Yes.
23 CR
Yes.
006616D Dexter Ware. And I had a message, but I don't know that I usually don't answer those. Looks like his mother earlier sent a message and she was at work trying to see what she needed to do. No, we don't give that kind of advice. So I don't know, is Miss Ware on the, did she sign in? All right. He's charged with expired tag or unregistered vehicle, driving while license suspended or revoked. Pre-trial.
This is 9th arrest. Last arrest was in August. Failure to appear on a car. He got a bunch of open violent cases: ag battery, ag assault, armed robbery. Well, he's on probation for the ag assault, ag battery, armed robbery. In 2015, they gave him 5 to serve, 10 probated, first offender. Also on probation in Athens, Clark County. Prohibited item without authorization, fees, given inmate prohibited item. He got a hold out of Athens, Clark County too.
Oh, and he has a hold as well.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Mm,
I didn't see any driving.
okay. All right, state.
I'm sorry, what position is this, Your Honor? I'm gonna still
15, Dexter Ware.
1 second. Okay, so yes, the defendant was pulled over for driving with the expired tag. Upon making contact with the defendant, it was determined that his license was suspended. We are asking for a signature bond on both counts to the jail and no driving without a valid license.
Okay.
Yes, no objection, Your Honor. Thanks.
All right. I will order a $2,500 signature bond through the jail. That will be $1,500 on the license, $1,000 on the expired tag. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And no driving unless he has a valid driver's license. Anything else?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
Nothing
Nope,
from
I
the,
think that's it.
yes, that's it.
And we're waiting on Miss Champion.
Position number 1 is a $2,500 sign-on bond through the jail. It's going to be reset to the SAP competency calendar 11/2. Position number 2 is a $2,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 3 is a total of a $5,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 4 is a $7,500 pretrial bond, reset further notice. Position number 5 is a total of a $7,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 6 is the $3,500 pretrial bond, reset further notice. Position number 7 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 8 is a total of a $5,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 9 is a $2,000 good bond, reset SAP 11/7. Position number 10 is a $3,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 11 is a total of a $6,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 12 is a total of a $3,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 13 is a total of a $4,000 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Position number 14 is a $3,500 pretrial bond, reset further notice. Position number 15 is a total of a $2,500 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. And position number 16 is a $3,500 sign-on bond through the jail, reset further notice. Any questions?
Nope, that's what I have. Anything else, anyone?
No.
All right, see you guys next time. Have a good one.
And
All
Ms.
right,
Champion,
bye-bye.
I
Thank
resent
you.
that over to you, Ms. Champion.
Your Honor, there was a
Okay,
defendant,
thank you.
Okay, hold on.
Mr. Martin, that
Yes.
did not make the calendar. I just wanted, Roman Martin, wanted to know, was charged with simple battery, family violence.
I just checked. I
It
think he
wasn't on
may
my
bond.
pull sheet.
He may bond.
Oh, he made,
I
okay,
just checked, yeah.
okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, pretrial.
Thank you, Ian.
All right, see you all next time. What did you say?
I said, thank you, Ian. That was Ian.
Oh,
Thank you, team. Bye.
Brandon trying to give us extra people. It's time to go.
No, we just want to make sure we didn't leave
That's
anybody
right.
behind. That's all.
okay.
Goodbye.
All right, bye. Thank you.